Yo, what's happening everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Today we're going to be talking about the Masterwork Research that just launched in Pokemon Go in conjunction with the Catching Wonders event. This research is going to award you with a Master Ball as well as some Pokemon encounters, and I do think that completing this research is going to be no problem at all. In this video, I'm going to be going over each of the steps of this Masterwork Research so that you are best prepared and you know how to complete it, and I'll also be giving you some tips along the way. Alright, so let's dive right into it. The first step is going to have 3 different tasks, and each task is just going to be all about catching Pokemon. The first task is going to require you to catch 250 Pokemon, and completing that task is going to award you with 20 regular Pokeballs. And then the second task is going to require you to use 150 berries when you catch Pokemon, and it's going to award you with 15 raspberries. And then the final task is going to require you to make 100 nice curveball throws, and completing that is going to award you with 2,500 Stardust. Now, all 3 of these tasks could be completed simultaneously, as long as you're using nice curveball throws with every single Pokemon encounter and using any kind of berry when you catch that Pokemon. That's how you're going to complete all 3 of these tasks at the same time, and I do suggest you do that. Make sure you're using a berry and doing a nice curveball throw every time. Now, completing all 3 of these tasks is going to award you with 2,500 experience, as well as an encounter with Sandygast. So if you do not have any good Sandygasts, maybe this will be your opportunity at getting a high IV. Who knows? Research tend to give you some decent IVs, but if you're lucky, you might end up with a hundo. Right, so let's move on to the second step of this Masterwork Research, and it's going to be mostly the same stuff. You're going to be required to catch 300 Pokemon this time, and completing that will award you with 25 regular Pokeballs. And then you're going to be required to make 100 great curveball throws this time, and that's going to award you with 15 Pineapple berries. And then at the end of it, you just need to transfer 50 Pokemon that you've caught, and you're going to be awarded with 20 Great Balls. Completing these 3 tasks is going to award you with 3,500 experience, as well as an encounter with Double. Right, so let's move on to step number 3, and this is where they change things up a little bit. So you're going to be required to catch 350 Pokemon, and doing so is going to award you with 20 Great Balls. But you're also going to be required to defeat 25 Team Go Rocket members. Now, take note that it says members, not grunts, not leaders. That means pretty much anything Team Go Rocket is going to count towards this task. That means all those grunt battles, leader battles, and even Giovanni, they should all count towards this task. And then finally, you're going to be required to catch 75 different species of Pokemon. And this could be a little bit tricky, but all you really have to do is diversify your content. Complete field research tasks, use your incense, go out when there's an uncommon weather boost, and you're going to see a whole variety of spawns. This one shouldn't be too difficult as long as you're doing all different kinds of gameplay, because that's how you're going to come across 75 different species of Pokemon. And then once you complete all of these steps, you're going to get 4,500 experience, as well as an encounter with Hisuian Sneasel. Alright, finally, let's move on to step number 4, which is going to be the last step of this Masterwork Research, and this is where it starts to get really tedious and a little bit expensive. First, you're going to be required to visit Pokestops on 7 different days, and you're also going to be required to catch a Pokemon on 7 different days. Now, it doesn't have to be consecutive, that's not the wording of these tasks. As long as you're catching Pokemon and spinning Pokestops every single day, you'll be able to complete it within a week. The third task of this step is going to require you to hatch 20 eggs. And yeah, that's quite a lot of eggs. So if you have a bunch of incubators, make sure you're using them during this step. And make sure you're just going out and walking so you can hatch those eggs. Probably try to stock up on 2-kilometer eggs for this one particular task. I would say that once you get to step number 4, make sure you have nothing but 2-kilometer eggs in your egg pool, and then start popping them with incubators. That's probably going to be the most efficient way for you to complete this task. Hopefully you do not have a full egg pool of just 10-kilometer eggs and 12-kilometer eggs. If that's the case, you better start walking right now. Now, the fourth task of this step is going to require you to catch 75 Pokemon within a single day. Again, this should be pretty easy. You should be able to complete this within about 3 hours of active play. And if you're worried you're not going to be able to catch 75 Pokemon within a single day, then you could save this task for either Community Day or the next Spotlight Hour. That's probably your best way for completing this task because there's going to be so many more spawn points during those events, and that's probably the best way you can get 75 Pokemon within a single day. And then the fifth task is going to require you to make 50 excellent throws. Again, this one is pretty easy. All you have to do is go to a legendary raid, defeat it, and use the set circle trick when you're trying to catch that Pokemon. Doing a couple of legendary raids is going to allow you to get 50 excellent throws really quickly. So that's my suggestion. Otherwise, you should look for Pokemon like Wailmer or Snorlax. Those are typically really easy to land excellent throws. And then the final step is pretty much a giant grind. Catch 500 Pokemon. Pretty straightforward. Again, you could save this task for like a Community Day or a Spotlight Hour. That's going to allow you to complete it within a short period of time. And then once you complete all 6 of these tasks, you're going to be awarded with 5,000 experience, 5,000 Stardust, as well as the Master Ball. So there you have it. These were the 4 steps for this Masterwork Research. Now, it's incredibly important that you have Master Balls in stock because if you ever come across a Galarian legendary bird, you will want to make sure you have at least 1 Master Ball ready. Because they have an extremely high flee rate, it's really difficult for you to get any of them. So having a Master Ball is going to guarantee that you get at least 1 of those whenever you come across it. You should also keep in mind that you could only hold 2 Master Balls at a time. So if you already have 2 Master Balls in your inventory, go out and pop a Daily Adventure Incense so that you can use your Master Ball on a Galarian legendary bird. Probably the 2 instances where I would say that it is actually appropriate to use a Master Ball is going to be Galarian legendary bird encounters as well as 100% IV legendaries in raids because you do not want to risk losing out on that 100% IV. So you should probably use a Master Ball during those circumstances. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Now, let me know your thoughts regarding this Masterwork Research down below. Do you plan to complete it as soon as you get it? Or do you plan to skip out on it and save it for another day? Definitely share your thoughts regarding it, and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. If you ended up enjoying it and found it to be informative, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And also don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, I want to give a quick shout out to every single patron on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you could do so is by becoming a paid Patreon member. If you do so, you'll get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon GO friends list. And that means if you want to do remote raids with me, or if you want to level up the friendship levels together, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a different way, you could always do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula, and I'm on the platforms that you see on screen. Go over there and give me a follow. Alright, and that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.